Hi, my name is Anna Burles and I am a registered interior designer with the BIID. I'm also on the Council of Directors for the BIID.
My name is Ryan Wenham. I am a chartered architect and I'm also a registered interior designer with the BIID.
So we're here today to chat together about how we see our respective roles and maybe what the difference between an architect and an interior designer is. So shall I kick off and say from my perspective? So I think it's a really difficult one to answer. There are absolute obvious differences. Architects would be far more involved in the construction and the master planning and the footprints and the structural side of any building. So I would say that my role is taking any space, someone's home or their bar or their restaurant, any hospitality space or a hotel, and I'm thinking about everything from the inside out. So I am making that space somewhere where people are going to either relax, rest, enjoy. It's all about the interior design.
So I am a chartered architect and I am a registered interior designer. And for me, there is a huge difference between the two roles, but there is a massive crossover. And I think it's really important that the roles do cross over for a successful project. I think for me, architecture is about harmony. It's about building the space and creating the space, and then passing that to an interior designer to finish the space and bring it to life. And I do think that a good architect needs to know the limits of where they should stop and pass this on to a specialist.
As you say, there's a lot of crossover. There's a lot of things that we both do, interior designers and architects. We both space plan. We both plan kitchens, bathrooms, social spaces. We all design bespoke joinery. So it's about deciding who's the right person on this project to do those elements. Or is someone the lead and the other has input in some way? We as an interior design firm would love to design all of those things and do the lighting plan and the electrical plan. We want to be fully hands-on with everything within the interior, including the finishes. So I think it varies, doesn't it, according to the types of firms and how much crossover there is, but it's about discussing it first and agreeing it.
How you would set who has a bigger role or a bigger part in the project depends on the scope, the scale, and the actual intention of the project as well. Whether you would need more input from your interior designer or you would need more input from more technical input maybe from an architect.
So as an architect, some of the best architects do also look at furnishings and FF&E.
Which I do. Myself.
Yeah, and there are lots of amazing hospitality interior architecture firms that do that too. But it's the more classic heartland of the interior design firm, isn't it? To look after the decorative finishes, the FF&E, the lighting, the styling, the art, the accessories, everything on the interior that you can see and touch.
So what do you think about the role of a project manager? Would you take that on? And what would you advise for a client if you were to work as an interior designer, but you were to also work with an architect?
Clients often ask us if they need a project manager. And again, it's complex. In an ideal world, there always would be one. And it could be that the project manager is a PM and a QS so that they can manage the coordination of the project, but also estimate and do the costing side. But, it has a cost. So sometimes we might recommend to clients that they just find a really good contractor that has that function in-house. But then you have to think, is it the clients? Are they handling the project management? We would do the interior design project coordination, but we fall short of being a full project manager. How is it on your projects?
Well, as an architect, obviously in the UK with the RIBA contracts, it is possible to enter yourself into the role of a project manager. I personally wouldn't do that because I always prefer there to be a separate project manager because I think it allows for better control and better client assurance. As I said before, it's really important to get your architect and your interior designer on board from the beginning. I think it's really good to set out who is going to take on what role and what responsibility, and I think that's something that the architect and interior designer or project manager can decide amongst themselves and present to the client based on their skill sets or their experience.
The clients might think, how do I find a good interior designer? How do I navigate this? And obviously I would just recommend that they go to the BIID website. There's a reason I'm a registered designer and a member of this amazing cohort of fantastic designers across the country, and it's a really great place to go and view portfolios, check, find someone that you style you like. That's how it works, certainly from my side. But on the architecture side, how would someone find a good architect?
So as an architect, clients are able to find me on the Architects Registration Board. It's also possible to look up my details on the RIBA website as well. And as a registered interior designer, my details, my profile is on the BIID website.
Quite aside from finding an interior designer and you looking at their portfolio on the website, actually the BIID's website has so much information for clients, doesn't it? It's got document about exactly this, the differences between interior designers and architects, but I think it's also got some really great documents about how to find an interior designer, but also how to work with them, what kind of questions to ask, how to structure your project. So it's just a great resource, isn't it, for clients?
I think the BIID referral service is a really, really good setup for a client as well. It lets them know that they can speak to various designers without getting overwhelmed. And obviously the BIID will check the responses from each designer before sending it to the client, so they know that they're only going to get high quality, relevant input from the designers as well.